Germany's last 9 games, they have won all 9 of them. That's 9 consecutive wins on their way into the 2026 World Cup. It may have been back-to-back group stage exits in the last 2 World Cups, but they are hitting momentum at the right time under Julian Nagelsmann. And today their 2-1 win over the USA is another one to add to the list. Jurgen Klinsmann joining us now. What to make of them today, Jurgen? Germany.
Well, I think, a lot of good stuff coming out of that game today. Obviously, you travel over to Chicago. You came in from Europe, and you need to settle a moment into the new environment, and now getting close to the opening game in the World Cup. Their situation definitely a lot different to the US situation, because their first game should be a very, very easy one against Curaçao next week. So they looked at it in a different way to this game than the US team. I think what was important is to see Oliver Baumann replacing again Manuel Neuer, which is expected to start then the World Cup for the German side next week. But now I think, with his performance today, which was very positive, a couple of good saves, it gives everybody the feeling, okay, if Manuel Neuer doesn't make it for the first game, it's no problem, because Oliver Baumann is a very, very, very good goalkeeper. Then a couple of other question marks that they have certainly is the left back with Brown. Is he the one that starts instead of Raum, the other player? And then obviously we wanted to all see Sané on the right wing. And with Sané, this is a back and forth a bit, in the German national team now for quite some time, because everybody is admiring his talent and his capabilities. He's so gifted, but he never shows that really on a consistent basis. So everybody was curious, and I think, he started the game exactly that way. The first half an hour, he had some good moments and he had some bad moments, but the fact that he then scored the second goal means obviously the world to that kid. So, he hopes now to get maybe closer to a starting spot in that German side after they lost Leonard Karl with injury. So there's a lot of good things, a couple of negative things as well. But I think the German team is well prepared. And obviously in Germany, the expectations are very high. There's no doubt, after the 2 disasters in the 2 previous World Cups in Russia and in Qatar, where they both times they lost in the group stage, basically. It is expected that the German side at least goes into the semi-final. Anything else than a semi-final would be a huge disappointment. And when they get to the semi-finals, obviously that's the German culture. Then they expect to win the tournament. So, yeah, it's gonna be a long path for that German team. But I think they have a lot of talent.
Do you think this is a team, Stevie, that can make the semi-finals?
Oh, I don't know about that. I was really disappointed in them. I really was, and I kind of forgot, Jurgen was talking about how they've just arrived in the country and the heat and the whole thing. But at the same time, with that talent, particularly in the heat, I expected them to be way better with the ball.
Against the hosts? In the home nation for the hosts?
Aye, absolutely. The best teams, that's what they do. In circumstances where you're against the home team and it is hot, I expected them to keep the ball way better than they did. And certainly they didn't get the ball to Wirtz and Musiala enough times. I was disappointed in Sané. And the one thing I really don't like about this German team is when he plays Kimmich at right back. I'm sorry, he's anybody who's running at Kimmich is going to skin him. He doesn't have the legs to play full back. Now, if Germany are going to dominate teams possession-wise, then Kimmich is fine at right back. But when he has a one-on-one situation, I'm sorry, he looks petrified to me. So I was really disappointed in Germany.
What do you think of Kimmich's position and what Stevie's saying, Jurgen?
No, Stevie's point is a good one, because it's an ongoing discussion, since years with Joshua Kimmich. The moment he gets forced into the right back position, it's not his favorite one, and he makes it also very clear in interviews. But there is no better than him in that position right now in Germany. I remember in 2014, Joachim Löw, for winning the World Cup then in Brazil, he decided towards the end of the tournament to go with 4 center backs. Left back and right back were center backs. He said, let's just lock it all in there. Let's make sure that nobody passes them and defend well, and then we'll see what happens up front. Obviously now they have a new way in the defensive midfield with Mecha and with Pavlovic. So they trying to find kind of each other. They try to form a partnership in the defensive midfield, because they need to basically cover the shoulders of Florian Wirtz and Musiala, and today it was Sané on the right wing, and then they're playing with a floater up front, a false number 9 with Kai Havertz, which turns out to be working for right now. But no, Steve has a point. Joshua Kimmich on the right back is always a discussion point in Germany. He would love to play the 6, just purely the 6. Is his favorite role. But there is no better right back at the moment. So it will be interesting to see, the longer the tournament goes, how this position will be used.
Is semi-finals such a push for Germany when you see this team, Shaka?
I share the concerns. Not just with Joshua Kimmich at right back, but difficult day maybe to pick on Kai Havertz, given that he scored so early on against the US and coming off the back of his domestic season with Arsenal. But Germany have just lacked that out-and-out number 9 that I think a semi-finalist needs. Somebody who you can rely on, having that striker's instinct. Kai Havertz is an incredible footballer, but for me, not a natural number 9, not at the level that you expect from a World Cup semi-finalist. As a result, I still have my doubts.
Jürgen, what's your thoughts on Dennis Undav in this whole situation?
No, I mean, it's a great discussion to have, because the number 9 in Germany is a big deal, obviously, because in the past there were great number 9s, and the sporting director of that German national team next to Julian Nagelsmann is Rudi Völler, no other than Rudi Völler, one of the biggest players we ever had in history as a number 9. Julian Nagelsmann, he likes the thought about a false number 9. He likes a little bit the Spanish style of approaching things. And Kai Havertz is a good false number 9. There's no doubt. He scores his goals. He's playing in the Premier League. He's playing for Arsenal. Won the Premier League this year, and he gets a lot of credit for doing all that. Dennis Undav, he proved his point with Stuttgart the entire season. He scores his goal. He's a real number 9. He's hungry. He's a box player. He holds the ball. He's a fighter. He's nasty. He's attacking the back lines of the opponents. And as a hard worker. And then obviously there's another kid that just, a year ago went from Germany into Newcastle with Moltemade, who has a lot of talent, brings other kind of qualities into that game. But it is a critical position right now to be discussed in the German side. They are not sure what is the right role. I mean, you have to accommodate in a certain way Florian Wirtz coming from the left wing, Musiala coming through the middle. Musiala is not back at the same level yet as he had before his really horrible injury a year ago in the Club World Cup against Paris Saint-Germain. And there are quite some question marks. And is it working out with the double 6 as we saw today? It was kind of okay, but nothing now kind of world class. But it's still, I mean, even if you have all these question marks, even if you can discuss it up and down the German side, the expectations are at least semi-final. You're not getting around that. You cannot discuss football in Germany, the expectations for a World Cup, and talk about round of 16 or quarterfinals. We would never accept that type of a discussion. For us, in our upbringing, our culture, you go to the World Cup, no matter how the team looks like, no matter who the individual names are, you expect to go to the end. And if you go home early, and if it's a quarterfinal, they would go home early with a quarterfinal. For us, it's a huge disappointment. And especially after what happened in the last 2 World Cups, this team is with their backs against the wall, no matter what. And that's why, it's better to be so quite direct and upfront with that discussion than to choose already kind of some excuses before you actually go into the tournament. The group is a very tricky one. With the Ivory Coast, they just beat France in a friendly game, which is a friendly game. We all know that, what the friendly game is when they sub, 10 players after minute 60. But they beat France. It's a very, very, very good side. And then you have Ecuador. And for me, Ecuador is one of the top 3 in South America after Brazil and Argentina. So this group, I mean, obviously Curaçao, you're supposed to do something for your goal difference in that game. But with Ivory Coast and Ecuador, it's going to be two very nasty, very difficult fights. And I really hope they're ready for that.
Now, Jürgen, you've been talking throughout the show today about Lennart Kahl, who was forced out of Germany's squad because he got injured yesterday. He's only 18. He's just coming off the back of his first senior professional season. It's a season that he's lit up. He's impressed us all. We were all looking forward to seeing him in this World Cup. How significant a loss is this for Germany?
Well, it is a loss because all Germany kind of wanted to see him getting minutes in this World Cup. Nobody expected him now to be a starter like he was in the last friendly game. But at least to see him a half an hour or 35 minutes coming on and give the whole game a spark, because he's a kid that takes people on. He's not overthinking the game, and it's just fun to watch this kid. And that's what he did all year long with Bayern Munich, and he did it really well. Now, maybe sometimes when we throw in these kids at the age of 17, 18, 19, look at Olise, look at Yamin Yamal, maybe we overdo it. Maybe we do expect already too much from these youngsters, and we already give them too much of a workload. And that's why possibly these injuries are a result of it. Because if you play them too often, every 3-4 days, you play them Champions League, you play them in the whatever Premier League or Bundesliga or Serie A, whatever they play. Maybe we ask too much already from those youngsters. But obviously we are hungry to see the next Lamine Yamal. We are hungry to see the next Musiala. And in Germany, especially for seeing the next Musiala, everybody was talking about or is talking about Lennart Kahl. And this injury is sad. It's sad to see.